on that declaration. And to address us this evening is the majority leader in waiting, a member of Parliament for Tamale South constituency, Honorable Haruna Idrisu.
Okay. Professor Jane Nana Opokuajiman, former Speaker, Right Honorable Duajaho, the National Chairman of our great party, and the leadership of the National Executives, including the campaign coordinator of Excellency John Dramani Mahamad's campaign for the 2020 presidential and parliamentary elections, my colleague members of Parliament present, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, including very senior colleagues, Mr. Kofi Totobikwachi, Bevlo Latte, and Prof. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, let me thank you for your tactfulness. Indeed, but for your love for our democracy, you will not be here at this hour to hear from the National Democratic Congress and its leadership. As a party, we have done extensive consultations and detailed analysis of the outcome of the elections as announced by Jean Mensah, the chairperson of the Electoral Commission. And we have come to only one irresistible conclusion, that it's a flawed, discredited election. And therefore we reject without any reservation. We reject the presidential elections as announced by her. And we also want to serve notice that the blatant efforts even to deny us of a parliamentary majority will be fiercely resisted. We know that the good people of Ghana gave us a mandate, and that mandate included a parliamentary majority, that they are engaged in attempts in connivance with the Electoral Commission to undermine and to reduce through brute force and military excessive behavior. We all know the gentleman John Dramani Mahama has been president of the Republic, he's been vice president of the Republic. We know his credentials as a consummate Democrat and know and acknowledge even his conduct after the 2016 elections continued to be commended and admired by many in the world and in our country. It is worth noting that we in the NDC take pride that we birthed this republic, the Fourth Republic, which has endured over 25 years. And we have a moral duty to preserve our democratic ethos and values and to make our democracy stronger for the peace and stability of our country. This evening, Ghana's democracy has come under severe attack and needs some rescue urgently. If not rescued, this attack will foster and grow into future elections, and that will disfigure our track record as a true democratic nation. We've been prided for conducting free, fair, and transparent elections. It is even regrettable to note that this evening, before her declaration, Excellency John Dramani Mahama contested the election as a candidate and therefore a stakeholder and interested party, even when he filed a petition to the Electoral Commission today detailing her concerns in the process of coalition leading to declaration. That was treated with utmost contempt. That we consider unacceptable. That address my grievances, address my concerns as a candidate. It was ignored by the chairperson of the Electoral Commission. This evening, the declaration by the Electoral Commission also smacks of bad faith, particularly when we are aware that our representatives in the strong room were sent by the chairperson to send a message, call it her special message to our flag bearer, Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Whilst they were on their way, then she decided to hold a press conference to do the declaration. So, whatever message was to be conveyed did not even get to President Excellency John Dramani Mahama. And then her petition, they were told that leave it at the reception to address those grievances. Let us be clear, overwhelmingly evidence available to us make it impossible for us to accept this spurious and hurried conclusion of the Electoral Commission of Ghana, led by its chairperson, who has only become an appendage of the ruling New Patriotic Party. We are thankful to the good people of Ghana, including the rank and file of our party, who, despite being at the receiving end of the impunity of this government over the last 4 years, coupled with the brute force in the past few days, voted massively and convincingly for the NDC and would continue to preserve that right of the tongue and would continue to fight any attempt to subvert the sovereign will of the Ghanaian people. We appreciate and value your support and effort. We will ensure that your votes count. The results as declared will not stand and simply will be accepted by the National Democratic Congress and its following across the country. We intend to take decisive and concrete steps, both with the presidential and parliamentary results, to overturn this brazen and shameless attack on our fledgling democracy. We want Techima serve. That gives us the parliamentary majority. You will all note that Jean Mensah in her press briefing said that it's being contested. For what reason, she never stated it. Who is contesting it and for what reason is not known to us. We demand an immediate collation of the results of Techima South as collated from the various polling stations, and we are certain it gives us a parliamentary majority. We demand. And Safiri Asu, Upper Denchira West, Takwa and Sulayem, you know that because they wanted to water down our majority, as I earlier stated in the day, they questioned 5 parliamentary seats in order to reduce the NDC from 140 to whatever number and to make their own declaration. So even as we stand, not even the EC or the New Patriotic Party knows who has what parliamentary numbers. You are all guessing as you are doing. Unfortunately, many of this is being done with the connivance of the Electoral Commission and some armed thugs parading as members of Ghana's reverse security agencies. We've seen some men in uniform from the military perpetrate these unacceptable acts resulting in loss of life. We have seen some reported deaths in Techima, 2, 1 in Savlugu, with a trigger-happy military shooting all around. On some occasions, attacks in uniform and their quest to help the EC overturn election results in favor of Nana Addo Dankwa and his party have shot, maimed, and killed innocent citizens of our republic. We witnessed it, as he said, in Techima South, Savlugu, Ododo-Diodio, Upper Denchira West, Sepiwiase, and other constituencies. We know, as I've indicated, that we won Techima South, and it was declared favorably for the NDC and its candidate. We will not accept anything less. We will not accept anything less than the addition of Techima South as one to give us that majority in Parliament. We pray that good Lord bestows his best blessings on our nation. We console the bereaved families, heal those who have sustained various degrees of wounds during this election period. And to the dead, may their soul rest in perfect peace. It's never been the wish of Excellency John Dramani Mahama that a blood will be shed for him to attain the ultimate of being president. Under no circumstance should our beautiful country lose human lives, not even one, in the name of electing a president who, when he sees his losing and losing seats in Parliament, hurriedly hides behind the military, and some police officers have qualified as some. There are still professionals within them and amongst them to do that. Stay safe and be assured that the spurious declaration of the 2020 presidential election by the Electoral Commission of Ghana will not be accepted by us as a party. It remains an attack on our democracy and a blot on the conscience of those who have perpetrated those acts to undermine the integrity of the election. We will resist it. For emphasis, let me repeat, we roundly reject and outrightly reject the declaration of the sitting president as the winner of the 2020 presidential elections. In due course, our flag bearer, Excellency John Dramani Mahama, will address the nation and the international community, supported by vivid and technical evidence of add up to make up the supposed 51 plus something percent for someone. I thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We are done. Thank you.
Right, so you just heard the minority leader in Parliament, Haruna Idris, so clearly stating and indicating that the NDC as a party is going to reject and resist the outcome of the 2020 presidential elections. Let me briefly speak to the campaign chairman of the NDC, Professor Joshua Alabi, for a quick reaction on this. Well, Professor is not going to speak, but the chairman of the party is here, chairman of Tambofo. Good evening to you, sir. Sir, I just want to find out from you, what went wrong for the party in this election, sir?
Nothing went wrong. Nothing went wrong. We contested this election. We won 140 seats. And it's been made to water down the number of seats that we won. And we fiercely resist it. We believe that Nana Akufo-Addo and the MPP should rather be worried that being in government and winning a previous election with over 1 million gap, will go into this election and lose virtually all the seats that they gain. Majority of his ministers, the local government minister, the minister for tertiary, the minister for deputy ministers, all lost their positions. and lost their seats. And even in areas that we even lost, we lost so much now. We believe that our 140 seats that were won will be largely protected. And at the end of the day, the NDC remains very stronger than before, even as this election results left.
So clearly the NDC is going to court over this matter.
The NDC's position will be made in due course, and I believe that it will not take long for our flag bearer, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, to come and speak to Ghanaians and international media. It will not be long.
But Chairman, if you say you're going to reject it and resist it, what does it mean, sir? I mean, is there any clarity to that?
Well, let me tell you that the flag bearer will be speaking, and when he speaks, probably by tomorrow, you will hear a position on this one.
All right, so that's the chairman of the NDC, someone of a sample for. He is still convinced that the NDC won this year's election, and that is why they are going to challenge and resist it. In fact, Haruna Idrisu, when he was addressing the media, described the 2020 presidential election as flawed, discredited election. And in his own words, we reject the outcome of the presidential elections as announced by Jin Mensa, and also went further to indicate that they demand a coalition of Techiman South constituency. So the NDC tonight has officially responded to the outcome of the 2020 presidential election, and for them, they are not going to accept it. They won't allow the government and the election commission in the words of Haruna Idrisu, subvert the will of the people. That will be resisted. So that has been the announcement this evening from the camp of the NDC, which was addressed or led by the minority leader himself, Haruna Idrisu, announcing to the nation the position that are taken by the NDC. So in the subsequent days, we are told that the flag bearer of the party, John Mahama, will be addressing the nation and communicate his personal thought to the whole world. As the next line of action he will be taking regarding the outcome of the presidential election. And Mr. Roger Metonono is here. He was the rep in the NDC strong room. Sir, thank you. I mean, there was a revelation from Haruna Idrisu. I recall that when you were exiting the election commission, I saw you and Dr. Michael Pasawai, and you had indicated to me that you were going to see the party executives. Now, Haruna Idrisu tells us that you are being sent by the chairperson of the election commission
to the flag bearer, to a flag bearer. Yes.
How so?
We had been engaging her, and she made it very clear that I should wait for her feedback. Then she called me and specifically said that she was sending me with a message to our flag bearer.
And what was the message?
That she wanted to engage us to understand the nature of our concerns, because I had refused to sign any more of the declarations. Because like I explained to you earlier, any signature means I'm endorsing the result. And I had explained to you earlier that it's a very legal issue. You must be very clear what you declare. So I refused to sign because we had additional information that all manner of things had happened in the eastern region. And we had information that the same and similar things had happened in Ashanti region. That they had generated their own pink sheets.
But Mr. Matonono, I am struggling to appreciate some of the things you're saying. Your agent on the ground signed the pink sheet, which was collated at the regional level and subsequently sent to the National Coalition Center. So one would say that the argument to make this evening clearly is flawed because your agents at the constituency level and regional level accepted the result. That was why the Election Commission forwarded it to the national headquarters.
Something went wrong.
Something went wrong? On whose part, sir?
Listen, I explained to you earlier that the Electoral Commission is the auditor of the elections. So if you and I have a difficulty and you are the umpire, it's like a tennis match. There's a faulty service. If the ball is out, it's out. You cannot say the ball is out and then you give the point to me. I played the shot and it's out. But you are agreeing that what went out is in.
So by extension, you're admitting that your agent on the ground perhaps might have made some mistakes or oversight.
It's more than that. At the appropriate time, I'll show you that my phone is in the car. I can go with you. The handwriting. Go back to what the Electoral Commission posted. You know, they posted certain things. Look at the handwriting. Look at the handwriting. The pressure of the pen. The pressure of the ink. Later on, I'll come and show you the original pink sheets. And you yourself, if you are called Kwame, I can write Kwame, and I can write Seth, and I can write Joseph. The nature of the way I write my J, my O, my S will tell you that it's the same person writing, but it's only writing a different name. So I'll take time and illustrate for you to see that the EC practice deception. Because you see, when you say we are declaring the results at the constituency level, everybody at the constituency sees the results. But when you say you are summarizing the whole constituency results, the details of what you are doing is lost on the people. It's lost on the people. Because you are holding a piece of paper and you are saying, add this, add that. But what is the source of it? That's why I told you that if you're accounting for a poll, you account for every single detail in that poll. It's the first time we're practicing that system.
So the allegation you're making is that the Electoral Commission perhaps may have...
It's not perhaps. They aided an illegality.
So that's the allegation you're making. I mean, you made this allegation earlier.
Earlier on,
right.
You saw by my demeanor at the Electoral Commission,
Sure.
I was trying to preserve the peace of this nation because it was important that the representatives of the flag bearer of the NDC conduct themselves in a lawful manner. But Jean Mensah, the Electoral Commissioner, has not shown good faith. She told me and the other colleague I had, Professor White, to send a message to John Mahama. After leaving, she turned off her phone.
She turned off her phone?
Yes. I will take you to my car. I will show you the several phone calls I made to her, and she did not pick. She did not pick it. So when I finally got to John's house, then suddenly somebody calls me and says, but Rojo, you told me you were going to inform John about a potential meeting that would take place between the NDC's representatives and the EC, where we would catalog the different types of fraud or issues that we had for them to be addressed. But she's announcing the results. So basically, she got the two of us out of the EC so that she could perpetuate what she was doing.
So you're anticipating a meeting between the chairperson and the flag bearer of the party?
As a follow-up of all the, the temperature of the nation was boiling. People were anxious, and we had to cool down the temper. Because our supporters said, we have information that we won this election. You understand? And then suddenly, after Ashanti's results came, they were in the lead. But if you actually get the original pink sheets of Ashanti, there's no way they would have gotten 1.7 million. There's no way.
I see. So that point has been made, but let me find out, how many of the results did you not sign before leaving the strong room of the Electoral Commission?
3 regions.
Wait, these are?
There was the northern region. There was Bono. Is Bono East or Bono West?
Bono East region?
Yes.
Yeah, we don't have Bono West, we have Bono East.
Bono East. And then there was, but there were 3. I mean, I cannot immediately.
We were told the Northern region was the last region that came in. Did you sign the Northern region declaration form?
You know, I'll show you something. There are incidents of several faxes coming in, some with signatures of people, some without. The handwriting particularly is like one person sat somewhere and generated all the results.
You suspect one person
I'm an
sat somewhere
no.
I'm
an artist.
Over 33,000 police.
You listen. I'm not talking. No. I'm talking about the summary sheets from the regions. I'm talking specifically about this. There are 47 constituencies in Ashanti region. Right. Ashanti region cannot be declared without all the 47 constituency results. Okay? So if there's an incident, as was in Savulugu, you cannot declare the northern region result for as long as one constituency, two constituencies are still outstanding. Because as the returning officer, she cannot present provisional results. She must produce the final result. In reality, ask yourself, have you seen the gazetted results of the 2016 elections? Presidential. I'm asking you. Strict proof. We went into another election without the EC having gazetted the 2016 presidential elections. How is that? And this is the referee of another election? So what do you expect?
Right. Mr. Rojo.
You see, because I don't have the documentation in front of me,
right.
It's becoming a challenge for you to appreciate what I'm saying. But create another opportunity for me and my other colleague in the EC, and we'll show Ghanaians and the global community the fraud that has been perpetuated on the people of Ghana.
We are to the flag bearer, we are addressing the nation.
No, but let me emphasize. Right. President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo did not win this presidential election. He did not. He did not. And I repeat emphatically, he did not.
Right, that point has been made by the minority leader here.
And I'm saying, I was in the EC, I was representing the party in the EC, and I'm saying that on the face of the evidence provided, Nana Addo Dankwa did not win this presidential election.
So when is the party's flag bearer coming to state his personal position on this?
Hopefully, he's making the necessary arrangements, and the party will make it known when he will come out and make his statement.
But the party will definitely challenge the result in court, clearly.
Massa, the Ghanaian people deserve better. We respect a peaceful election, and that's the only reason why we were expecting her to do the needful, but she has shown bad faith. I'm ready to challenge her anywhere for her to deny that she did not send me. Mark Menu was saying that I left the EC. That is not so. She sent me to send a message to the flag bearer. And on the blind side, she then goes ahead and declares a result. That is bad faith.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rojo Metonono. He is the NDC. In fact, he was the NDC rep at the Strong Room, the National Coalition Center at the Electoral Commission. Of course, myself and him and Dr. Michael Pesser-White were there for about 4 days. Consistently, I had to engage him on several occasions. And as I mentioned, in fact, when he was exiting the Electoral Commission this evening, I personally saw him. I asked him a direct question where he was going, and then he told me at the time.
I left my laptop there.
Right, he told me at the time that he was going to meet the party executives. That was the answer he gave me. But I never knew that he was, he had been sent, as he claims that the chairperson sent him to meet the flag bearer of the party for a meeting. So that has been the claim here, and of course we're going to validate that or probably get more information going forward. But the NDC clearly has stated that they are not accepting the result of the 2020 presidential election. And the ABF Hussein is here. ABF Hussein is here, a member of Parliament for Sagna Regu. Honorable, thank you very much for your time this evening. For you, the Ghanaians listen to the chairperson of the Electoral Commission this evening and clearly stating that Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is the president-elect for this year's election. You seek to challenge the result?
Let me say ab initio that my leadership has spoken on the matter. But we have said it from the very outset that Madam Jean Mensah was brought in by the MPP to do a hatchet job, to steal the elections for Nana Akufo-Addo. From then, today as we speak, we have been vindicated. Our position that she was brought only to do a hatchet job has been vindicated.
Perhaps if you go to court, the court might be able to determine or be in a better position.
Let me just indicate to you that the court is not the only place where challenges to a fraudulent daylight thievery like what has happened today can be challenged. In the court of the public opinion, indeed, the constitution of this republic in Article 1 says that sovereignty lies with the people. Okay? So the people are even more important than the courts. So the sovereign will of the Ghanaian people can never be subverted. And that is why we are saying that what has happened today is a mockery of democracy. It's the biggest rape of democracy in the history of our country. This is the most disgraceful bunch of electoral officers that have ever presided over the affairs at the Electoral Commission. And no doubt, Ghanaians are visibly outraged about the charade that has happened today. The thievery and the subversion of the will of the democratic will of the good people of this country today. That has been so desecrated by Jean Mensah and Bosman. And so I can tell you without any item of station, it's not just the NDC, it's the entirety of the good people of this country who are going to stand up against this verdict. And Mensah, take it from me, there's not a single decent person in this country who will not rise up and challenge this stolen, this thievery, this blatant robbery. There's not a single person who will not stand up against it, who has some decency left in him. It's an insult to the integrity and sovereign will of the Ghanaian people. And nobody will take it.
Right. Thank you very much, Honorable A.B. Efuseni, Member of Parliament for Sagnarigo.